Welcome back to another vid, guys. This one's going to be a bit of a tech vid, install vid, info vid, and I hope you get a bit out of it. And it's going to be about upright fridges. This video we are doing with Caravan RV Camping. I'll put their info down here. The old model was the CRX fridge, right? This is the NRX. Now this is the 115, and it's actually a bigger fridge inside, and it's 2 kilos lighter than the old model. So that's one of the good things about it. What I'm going to do is show you a bit of an install, how I reckon you should do it, what sort of battery you should run it off, what's best for them, the connections, those sort of things, in my opinion. Before I install it, let me show you where it goes and what's inside. So inside here, this is my little fridge compartment, and my wiring system is all fitted out across the headboard of the ute, and also the batteries go down here low along the tray base and behind the drawer. Like I said, what you should, or what sort of battery should you have when you run a 12-volt fridge in your car? Now, capacity wise, I think from experience, you're going to want at least 100 amp hour battery, whether it be AGM or lithium, budget dependent. Lithium obviously being better because you can use more of the charge. You can use the full 100% charge of that battery. You can run it all the way flat with your fridge, and it will recharge super fast via solar or a DC to DC charger in your car. Whereas an AGM battery or lead acid will take longer and not be as efficient running your fridge. So that's my 2 cents on that. And also, when you want to plug your fridge in, you want a positive connection. So there's 2 ways to do it, in my opinion, is have either a 50 amp Anderson plug, this one here, and you put the other end on your fridge, or you have a fridge socket like this, which I'll show you on my fridge, this one here. These NRX fridges come with twin core wire off the back of the compressor section, and you can put your own plug on the back of that. So in the past I've had Anderson plugs. In this one, the Norwell guys put these fridge sockets on, which are pretty handy. As long as they're like a positive connection and they're not going to rattle out. So if you use a 12-volt Siggy one, sometimes they can rattle out on rough roads or lose connection, and then your fridge is going to turn off and your stuff inside is going to be, well, hot beer, not frozen meat. It's not a good thing. Hey, before I throw it in, I'll show you this door here. It is reversible. So when they come out of the box, it actually opens this way, but for my canopy, I want it to open this way. So all you do is take a few Tech screws out of here and change a few brackets over, and you can swap the door over. The finish on the front is super nice on this one. It's sort of like a satin titanium finish, and you can slide this lock from one side to the other. So if you want to open it this way, you lock it, or you slide the lock that way and you open it. It's got locks top and bottom too. If you see this, you got a steel one at the top and one at the bottom. So you always get good compression on your latches, and nothing rattles loose when you're off-roading. You can lock that up there. All right, let's chuck it in. Mounting an upright fridge in a canopy, there's going to be a few different options. Norwell have their own unique mounting system, which is a bracket over the top. This fridge also has, on the inside, you can take out some plastic plugs and screw from the inside out. So if you have a surround, like a timber surround in your caravan or in your canopy, you can screw this in to actually mount it inside. Super light, they're pretty easy to do on your own. Pick him up. I just have to walk mine into the brackets on the feet. There we go, that's in. And then I've got a custom hold down bracket that holds mine down. 4 latches. You lock them over with a bit of tension, and that's your fridge installed. Swing this over the top, grab my little socket here, and you'll see how it works, and it's a positive connection. Poke him in there, line him up, push, and then you screw the thread on, like so. Now that can't come out. Right, I'll show you a few more features of this fridge, so let's open her up. Now, the design inside's been changed a bit from the CRX to enable a lot more space. There's a bigger drawer at the bottom with some, like, they call them bottle savers, but so you can put like different size bottles in there and they don't rattle around because of that. And you can also fit cans along here and cans along here. You can move those shelves up and down. You've got 2 big sort of veggie or crisper drawers in the bottom. And I'll show you soon, they actually house 12 tins really well. Heaps of room for food and stuff, and then you've got a freezer section at the top, which is a drop down. And you can fit like icy poles for the kids, a bit of meat, all that sort of stuff. Now, one of the new things about this fridge is that this can actually come out. You can remove the freezer section and this whole thing can be a whole fridge, or you can take that out and the whole thing can be a whole freezer. So that brings me to the next part. Swing in here and I'll show you the different modes. Let's turn it on. In here, just press the power button to turn him on. And then come down here, you've got your level for your temperature. This is cold, this is heaps colder. When this light comes on, that means your compressor's running. Let's run through the modes in here. You've got, at the top, you've got eco mode, which just means it's going to use less power, but the cooling will be decreased. The one down here is you've got is silent mode, which decreases the noise of the compressor. So if you're sleeping next to it, you can make it a lot quieter. Next one is performance mode, which is you're in like up north and it's super hot, above sort of 30, 35 all the time. You'll probably run it in performance mode. And then the bottom one is the full freeze mode. So you switch to that, it goes full hardcore, the compressor runs flat out, you remove this section and the whole thing will be a big freezer. There you go. Pretty cool, eh? I'll go into a bit more detail about why I reckon you need a 100 amp battery. So a fridge like this, depending on the conditions, is going to pull anywhere between sort of 3 and 6 amps, depending on how hot the ambient temperature is. Now, if it runs for, say, 10 hours a day, there's going to be 30 to 60 amps gone out of your 100 amp battery. If you don't have enough battery power there, you're going to come to night time, and then yeah, you won't be able to use your lights, you won't be able to use your other features, your fans and all that sort of stuff. So 100 amp minimum to run the fridge. And if you're moving a lot and doing that sort of touring, if you do a lot of base camp touring and set up and sort of don't drive for a while, and make sure you've got a good amount of solar on your roof, one, to get it back in, or two, have a bigger battery setup, like a 200 amp hour capacity sort of setup will do you fine. And then, yeah, by the time you get a bit of solar, a bit of driving around, you should always keep that battery topped up, which is why I reckon lithium's the go, because it just does it like that. I had this full of gear the other day, I'll cut to that now, and you can see how much stuff it holds, eh? All right, let's give you a look at this thing while it's full of food and beer. So it's an NX115, it's actually a 113 litre fridge, and it is chockers full of gear. You fit so much more in over the last 110 model, just with the way it's been redesigned. You got better pockets in your fridge here with a bottle saver down there, so you can fit like milk bottles and that in there. But look at that, you can fit 7 beers, 6 tins across the whole door shelf. Another hot tip for you, if you haven't noticed, I like my beer. You can fit 12 cans in each drawer because of the height of this is the right height for the drawer. Perfect. And then you've got veggie crisper, fruit and veg and stuff, and then plenty of room for your meat and veggies and condiments and yogurts and salads and all that sort of stuff. And then the removable freezer part folds down from the top. Always have ice creams in there for the misso and the kids, and a bit of frozen meat as well. This part can remove altogether, so the whole thing can be a fridge or the whole thing can be a freezer. Pretty cool, eh? And now for the question that everybody wants to know, because like your upright fridge in your ute, it's pretty much a beer fridge, yeah? So how many beers does it hold? Let's have a look. There you are, look at that. 6, 12, 18 tins just in the door. And then we've got 12 in each drawer. So there's a heavy drawer, a midi drawer, a flavour door, a couple of, you know, when you just want a glass bottle, have a nice stubby. There's 2, 4, 5, 6, there's 12 stubbies in there, and one for the misso. That's all she needs, isn't it? There you go. You've still got heaps of room for food. Up the top, 2 shelves and an empty freezer. I like it. That's a good weekend away right there. Giddy up.